Legion wins the roll to go first and decides to deploy first. As you can see, we have the Rake, 3 Shredders, Lylyth, Carnivian, Nis Sorceress on a Hellion, and the unit of Grotesques. On the other side of the battlefield, we have Crix, who deploys with a unit of Revenant Crew, a couple of Scrap Thralls, a Pistol Wraith, Slayer, a couple of Death Rippers, 2 Necrotechs behind them, Deneghra in the back, and a Warwitch Siren. And we start with turn 1. The Grotesques and the Nis Sorceress both run up the hill, and over on the other side of the battlefield, the Carnivian, Rake, and the Shredders all make a full advance. They get riled up. Lylyth casts Tenacity on all of the beasts and makes a full advance on top of the altar. For Crix, the Revenant Crew runs up the hill, and likewise most of the rest of the army runs, except for Deneghra, who makes a full advance, casts Ghost Walk on the Siren, and the Siren runs into the woods. Lylyth begins turn 2 by taking a ranged attack at the Siren, who is not in range. So then she casts Spiny Growth on the Carnivian, makes a full advance, and casts Tenacity on herself. The Carnivian charges the Siren, then uses his Assault Spray to kill the Siren and the Necrotech. The Shredder casts Tenacity on the Rake, makes a full advance. The Rake makes a full advance as well, and then one of the Shredders goes rabid and runs up to the Death Ripper. Another Shredder makes a full advance. Sorceress makes a full advance and casts Wind Ravager, and then the Grotesques make a full advance farther up the hill. The Revenant Crew make a full advance, and a couple of ranged shots into the Grotesques that miss. Scrap Thralls run up in through the clearing. The Death Ripper attacks the Shredder and kills it. Pistol Wraith makes a full advance, shoots at Lylyth and misses. Slayer charges the Carnivian, deals 11 damage to it, and takes 3 from Spiny Growth. The Necrotech runs up behind the Death Ripper. Deneghra makes a full advance, and the other Death Ripper charges the Rake for a total of 14 damage, taking out its body and spirit. Lylyth heals the Rake for 2, bringing the spirit and body back up. He takes a ranged attack at the Pistol Wraith and misses, so makes a full advance back to the altar. Carnivian gets all furious and attacks the Slayer for a total of 21 damage. The Rake leaps behind the Death Ripper, makes melee attacks, and whiffs. Shredder goes rabid, makes a full advance to the Pistol Wraith and kills him. Another Shredder takes a full advance, casts Tenacity on the Rake. Sorceress makes a ride-by attack, ends up killing a couple pirates, and the Grotesques charge the Revenant Crew and take down a few more. Death Ripper kicks off turn 3 for Crix by charging into the Rake and killing it. The other Death Ripper makes a full advance and takes out one of the Shredders. Necrotech runs into the woods to try to save the Slayer. Deneghra makes a full advance. The Slayer deals 5 damage to the Carnivian in melee. Scrap Thralls both charge the Carnivian. They deal a total of 5 damage to the Carnivian and 2 to the Slayer. The Revenant Crew attack the Grotesques, taking out 4 of them and 1 of their own via a missed pistol shot. The Carnivian starts by finishing off the Slayer. Then Lylyth makes a full advance, pops her feet, and shoots Deneghra for 7 damage. With her weapon, she's now able to cast a spell at her that will automatically hit, so she uses Eruption of Spines and only deals 1 damage to Deneghra. The Shredder goes rabid, makes a melee attack at the Death Ripper for 7 damage total. The Sorceress breaks away from the Revenant Crew to make a spray shot at Deneghra but comes up short, and the Grotesques charge Deneghra and miss. The Death Ripper makes a full advance to the Shredder, deals a total of 17 damage killing it. The other Death Ripper charges Lylyth and whiffs. The Necrotech makes a full advance and makes a Scrap Thrall out of the wreckage of the Slayer. Meanwhile, the Revenant Crew make a full advance and form a shooting line, making some ranged attacks on the Grotesques and the Nis Sorceress, dealing 4 to the Sorceress and killing 2 Grotesques. Deneghra, in combat, decides to attack the Grotesque in front of her and casts Influence twice, which is ineffective. So Legion starts turn 5 a little hot on Fury, and the Carnivian frenzies and runs over and kills Deneghra. Lylyth casts Eruption of Spines at one of the Grotesques, ends up killing all the Grotesques that are left on the field, hits Deneghra for 1 point, and blows up the Scrap Thrall. And then finally, Lylyth makes a ranged attack using Hellsinger and takes Deneghra down. So our MVPs for this battle, Sean chooses Lylyth for being able to take Deneghra down, and I chose the Death Rippers because they tore a lot of stuff up this game. Some final thoughts. I think I should have popped Deneghra's feet on turn 4. That would have gave me a considerable advantage and maybe have actually wounded or even taken down Lylyth instead of the other way around. And I might have actually been able to take the objectives and make a scenario win, but I wasn't quite sure that I could pull that off and decided to stick with keeping my caster alive. So, that does it for this battle report. We're going to have some more battle reports on the way, and we're going to also be featuring a new segment coming up shortly, another series of videos that will showcase different models and some tips, tactics, and all kinds of other good things to go along with it. So until then, stay tuned.